Thank you all for coming. I really want to thank Dr. Cerniak and Dr. Sledge and the committee, but especially there's an awful lot of people in this room who had a lot to do with this, and so I want to thank everybody who's been working along. This has really been a labor of love and looking more and more like our legacy. So it's just wonderful to be honored in this way. So I'm going to do a little show and tell. A little bit of tell, just how we develop CBT for CBT and what we're learning about it as we're going. And then in the time I've left, I'd like to show you a little bit because it's cooler than it sounds. CBT, shame on you if you don't know it at this point, but just by review, the way we do it with substance users is to focus on some very basic core skills that people can use to get their substance use under control, but we really teach them as generalizable strategies for life. So coping with craving is learning affect tolerance, which is a really good thing. Refusal skills are assertiveness skills. So we try to teach something that people can take with them long after they leave treatment. And why is that? With CBT is fine. It's a good treatment. It's not necessarily more effective than other therapies we have, but where it really stands out is in this durability of its effects. This is one of our first little studies where we show the sleeper effect, that even after people leave treatment, sometimes they continue to get better. And this has been replicated a number of different times, and it looks more and more like we're actually teaching people some of these things that they can take with them. And we've been doing CBT since I got here in like 1982. I was the very first SAT2 intern, believe it or not. So CBT is great. We've done all kinds of clinician-delivered versions of it. It's empirically validated. It's safe. It's effective. It's durable. But it's not out there as much as we'd like. It really sort of weakens when it's delivered in very busy clinics where clinicians don't have a lot of time, and instead of a nice hour of CBT, people tend to get 5 minutes here and there. And so it's been a real challenge in terms of how to train clinicians, because there's a lot of turnover. Keep up fidelity and so forth. And no matter what we do, there will never be enough clinicians who are trained in CBT outside of academic medical centers like this. So this was kind of a no-brainer for us, but why did we come up with this? First off, effective implementation of CBT is really very rare in clinical practice. In a clinical trials network study we did where we taped over 400 sessions of treatment as usual, where everybody said that they were doing CBT, how many times did they even do anything that looks like skill training, do you think? Like 5. 5 out of 400. It's just not there as much as we really want it to be. We also know that only a small fraction of people with addiction-related problems access treatment, so telemedicine is clearly a way of addressing that. This just focuses on CBT. We don't see this as replacing clinicians in any way. This is really a means of extending the clinician's time, sort of subcontracting out a piece of the CBT. It's great. It's broadly accessible and potentially available 24/7. And there are some things that computers do really, really well. It can show things. They can be really engaging. You can show movies and things. And so when we were developing it, we tried to capitalize on basic principles of e-learning. And then if you're a psychotherapy nerd, like us, what you can also do is, for the first time, really control your therapy and figure out what's going on in it. So we have these different modules that can be done individually. We can actually see if providing training in coping with craving has an effect on regulation of craving and things like that. So it's been very exciting from a research point of view. And it's led to all kinds of interesting new stuff, and it's also standardized. So it's really, really nice. And so just like telemedicine, it's really about this. This is the old slide from Broadening the Base, the Institute of Medicine thing. And what we do at CMHC and SAT2 is we treat those folks, but these are the folks who can really benefit from therapy. And so things like telemedicine and CBT can really broaden our access. And so when we sat back in this little room and tried to put this stuff together, and this was Sam and Steve and Katie Neuro and Melissa and I, we decided that we had to focus on a few core principles that have come through it, come through all of it. One of the things is that substance users don't have a huge attention span. And so one of the things that we wanted to do was make it really, really engaging, and to find something that people would really stick with if we wanted to retain them in treatment. We wanted to also deliver something that really was a version of cognitive behavioral therapy. So we really built something that is a skills training machine. That's all it really tries to do. It can't do warm fuzzies of therapy. It can't build a therapeutic alliance. It can teach skills. That's all we wanted it to do. We wanted to see if it would work the same way we know CBT works. So does it teach the skills, and does it have the durability effects or the sleeper effect? And this is, again, something that I think is really unique to this sort of web-based therapy. Is instead of having a therapist describe these coping strategies in somewhat abstract terms, patients could actually see them being used by people in real-life situations, because we teach through movies. I'll show in a minute. And then we wanted not to just to build something for sort of left-handed marijuana users. We wanted something that was really broadly applicable. So CBT applies to users of all drugs. We try to balance out gender, ethnicity, and all kinds of things, as you'll see. And again, we're dealing with a very vulnerable population. And so we did all kinds of, I think, very clever workarounds. So we don't collect any identifying information or PHI on it. So it's about 7 modules based on those core components of CBT. People can do them in whatever order they like. It's incredibly user-friendly. There's no text to read. This is the opposite of some of those sites that you may have seen where it's just kind of a manual slapped up there with a lot of text to read. Substance users would not go for that. So it's really, really easy. It's based on our NIDA manual. We came up with all kinds of a clever and involving way of trying to teach these skills. And the core of it is sort of really using these movies. And so we partnered with Yale Med Media. I don't know if any of those, are any of the guys here, Tom? Yeah, you are, hi! And this was all done when most people were using AOL, in a dial-up line. So these guys just went way beyond the cutting edge in putting the original version together for us. And so we hired real actors, real directors, and we really went for an engaging way to teach CBT. There's all sorts of interactive exercises and quizzes. And because actually practicing the skills outside of sessions is what we think also drives durability, it pretty much makes you do the homework. So it's what the media guys call media rich. There's all kinds of things in it, but this is sort of a screen from the deal with craving thing. People can kind of work around the topics. The navigation is really simple. All you have to do is kind of press these nice looking arrows that we fought about for a long time, right? And so we have actors. This is the drug version. This is the famous cravometer, the cravometer that goes up and down as he's using the skills. So it's really a piece of creative wonder. This was the old web-based version, but this was the component that we did on negotiating safe sex. So we got to, the best phone call I ever got was Melissa Gordon, who's the genius of all these things, calling me one day, like on a Friday. We just did the shoot for safe. The sex scenes are going great. And I'm thinking, oh, this is, and they were. They really are. Yeah. So, all right, we've done now two clinical trials. This is the first one. It was published in 2008. We did an 8-week randomized clinical trial at Liberation programs in Bridgeport. And all we did was just add it on to standard treatment as usual. Standard treatment versus standard treatment plus CBT for CBT with a 6-month follow-up. And we did our first little fMRI studies through collaboration with Mark Potenza back then. We really did take all comers. So 43% female, we had a nice representation of ethnic minorities, and this was not an easy sample. Most people were not working, a lot got pushed into treatment, and they were using a lot of stuff. And then, so this really turned into, sort of the little program that could. Compared to treatment as usual, we got about a 20% difference in drug-positive urines in only 8 weeks of treatment. That was good. And then if we looked at longest consecutive abstinence, which is a great way of predicting how people are going to do long term, we got a nice difference there. So that was pretty promising. And then we went on to see does it do what we think CBT is supposed to do? So does it really teach coping skills? And we have a role-play measure of acquisition of coping skills where we give situations and the patients articulate their answers. These are rated highly reliably by a lot of people in this room. And what we found was, compared to treatment as usual, there was a nice bump up in people's ability to articulate these skills by the end of treatment. But even nicer, we got kind of a sleeper effect for that, too. So even after the people didn't have access to the program anymore, through the follow-up, their skills continued to increase as well, which is pretty nice for a little 6-week computer program. And then, led by Brian Killick, we kind of got to the holy grail of psychotherapy research, which is trying to show some specificity here. So using mediational models, Brian showed that CBT was directly related to acquisition of coping skills, and essentially this mediated the outcome for CBT through time. So that was pretty impressive. And we got our sleeper effect, too. So that was all sort of paralleled by actually drug use follow-ups, where there was some falling off in treatment as usual, and CBT continued to improve. So it looks a lot like CBT. We worked with Todd Olmsted, who used to be here. He's now at George Mason, to do some cost-effectiveness analysis. It's kind of a no-brainer, but once you build these things, and it takes a lot of time and effort and money to build them, but once you build them, they are a nice, cost-effective way of delivering treatment. And this is just comparison to other therapies that we've studied through the Psychotherapy Development Center, and having Todd work with us for several years to do a uniform strategy of cost-effectiveness studies. We were able to show that compared to things like combinations of motivational enhancement, CBT, Nancy Petrie's PRI-CM, and so forth, it's very promising. And we just finished a second randomized trial, and we got a really nice set of reviews from American Journal of Psychiatry, so we anticipate it will be accepted there soon. This one we did at the App Foundation with support from Sam and Lynn Madden. And we actually went after what is a fairly difficult population, cocaine-dependent, methadone-maintained opioid abusers. So that's where like cocaine pharmacotherapies that look promising elsewhere kind of go to die. It's a hard sample. Again, sort of looked at CBT as an add-on to treatment as usual. A nice sample, 60% female, 40% minority, mostly not working. This sample in particular had a fairly high level of psychiatric comorbidity and a lot of substance use. And as you'd expect, outcomes overall weren't quite as good as they are for the outpatient sample, but we still got roughly the same effect sizes on our outcomes in terms of drug-free urines and 3 weeks of continuous abstinence. So that's actually looking pretty good. And we got, again, our nice little sleeper effect. So we have one trial now and a nice replication. And so I think this is the first sort of entirely web-based version of treatment that's been replicated in independent samples. And the thing about when you come up with a therapy that looks fairly effective, it can lead to all kinds of things. So it's not just soft science. We've been able to do some fun things. So this is, again, we've been collaborating with Mark Potenza and his group for 10 years now. And I think we finally figured out how to really combine imaging with clinical trials. And so this is from the same trial, and this was put together by Hetty Kober and Elise DeVito, showing comparisons in Stroop activity from post to pre, and you get a nice sort of deactivation or less activity in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex for CBT, and not so much there in Stroop. So I think this is the very first time that there's been a distinct treatment main effect for something like this. So we're excited. Hetty Kober has her regulation of craving task, which is a fantastic way to look at brain neurocorrelates of craving and how people respond to it. So it's sort of a perfect match for CBT. She added her regulation of craving task to the very, very end of that methadone study, and was able to replicate her what she's seen in smoking populations with the cocaine users with a small sample. So again, changes in dorsolateral PFC and regulation success, and so we hope to build on this in the center that we just renewed. So we've done a lot, and it's really been very, very generative. So now we've done these two RCTs where we've demonstrated that CBT is safe and durable, and where we've got a whole lot of interesting things going on through our ongoing P50 Center in collaboration with Mehmet Safulo. We're doing CBT in combination with galantamine, a cognitive enhancing agent, again with fMRI, neurocog testing, genetics, and that's being done at Regional Network of Programs in Bridgeport. Diane Duffy has been leading, while she's been doing her residency, an evaluation of just the final HIV safe sex module to look at its effects on risk reduction related to HIV and HCV with Paul McLaughlin at the Hartford Dispensary. We just finished that and are beginning to look at the results there. What we've done so far, you'll notice, is just sort of add CBT on to standard treatment, not necessarily look at the extent to which how it would do in terms of a carefully implemented high-fidelity CBT. And so at SAT2, Brian Killick is leading what we refer to as our man versus machine trial, where we're comparing CBT to therapist delivery of CBT. We just got, by some miracle, an R01 with Mark to add to that trial, fMRI, so we can look at the neural mechanisms of the sleeper effect. That's going to be cool. We have an alcohol version now that we're validating at SAT2 too. And one of the most exciting and most fun things that we've ever done is we're doing a version entirely in Spanish, and that's led by Manny Paris and Michelle Silva and Luis Inez. And so that's now been completed, and we hope to start that here at CMHC in November. And for that one, we got really, really good. So we broke the bank, and for the movie this time, we did a telenovela. So it's about Blanco and Jesus, and they want to get the kid back from the country, but Jesus spent the money. It's tragic. And so the narrator is just this wonderful woman. And those of you who watch 30 Rock, that was Selma Hayek's mother, right? The one who was, so she hated Alec Baldwin because he looked too much like the Generalissimo. So she's, so it was a whole telenovela thing. So anyway, she's great. So this is the most exciting thing that we've done. And Manny and Michelle and Luis have just been incredible to work with. All right, we got a little bit. All right, so now what? All right, so we've got it done. No one has ever wanted anything I ever came up with, so what do? Do we just give it away? Do we just put it out on the net for free? Should we assume something is better than nothing? Do we know anything about adverse events? And the thing about, there's an awful lot of garbage out there in terms of web-based interventions. I think what we've got now is the real thing. So it's really important to remember that computer-assisted whatever means that something's delivered by computer, not necessarily that it has integrity and it's effective. So I'll go through this really, really quickly. There's a lot of computer-assisted therapies out there. The data are really mixed, and so I just turn your attention to an article led by Brian in the American Journal 2 years ago now, where we did a methodological analysis of the 75 studies at the time that were randomized clinical trials of web-based interventions for adults with Axis 1 disorders. These are now called the CIIP criteria, which is very nice. And what we were able to show, I think, is that where we are in these web-based interventions is a lot like where we were in psychotherapy research when I started those many years ago. It's largely uncontrolled. Methodological quality is really variable. We came up with a score that could range from 1 to 28 in terms of having specific methodological features like keeping track of all the patients, using an objective indicator of outcome, and so forth. At the time we did it, and I don't think it's much better now, there were no studies of those 75 that met basic standards for all 14 criteria. There were a couple pretty good ones. These were not CBT for CBT, by the way. We got better then. So anyway, I just want to, this is great, and we can be very, very enthusiastic about this, but I think it's just very important that we not get ahead of the data on these things. I went too far ahead. And where we are now, I think, is very, very early on, and a problem with a lot of these web-based interventions that people are selling is that the modal design is usually something like a weightless control condition, and outcomes are self-report only with a lot of attrition. So be really, really careful about going through with this kind of thing. So I want to stop and show you, but before I want to thank the group of people who put this together. I came up with the idea, and I buy the coffee and the chocolate is about it. But I want you guys to stand up, because we're all going to split the prize money, the great prize money here. But Luis, stand up. Sam, Diane, everybody, come on. Everybody, Ari, Jalomi, Brian Killick, Donna LaPaglia, everybody. You guys, Matt, you guys. It's really, all right. Melissa has been the genius of this, where she got big print. Everybody else is there. It's been wonderful to work with Mark and Hetty and Elise and Pat and everybody there. We've developed a lovely little group. I also want to thank the guys from Med Media. Tell them I was really nice about you guys. They're just geniuses, and we've had so much fun. Performance sites have been terrific. We started at Liberation and then Regional Network of Programs. We worked with APT. A special award to Bob Cole for sacrificing his nice desk so that we could make a movie there. And actually the first, I think I'm done. Jesus, all right. That's pretty good. And this first site to use it clinically was actually Harvard. Mass General Hospital approached us a while ago, and so they're doing a purely clinical evaluation of it at their West Street clinic. So that's very exciting. So do I have like 5 minutes to show? Yeah, I got 5. Okay, I'm going to just show you what I can in the 5 minutes that we've got. It should be all. And if anybody wants to see more of it, you can go to SAT. Ow! It logged us out. No, I can do it. I can do it.
I don't know if it'll like you.
Wait a minute.
For it, but not on this computer, I don't think.
Wait. I think it's okay.
It's the website.
It's the website. I think it's okay. It's gonna. The lady's gonna yell really loud.
I can adjust this so she won't yell too loud.
It won't take me. Oh crap! You know it works all the time. Why isn't it?
Can you hear me talking? If you can, adjust the volume to your comfort level and click on the continue to. Welcome back to the program.
You guys
Please
here?
take a look at the center of the screen and select the topic you would like to work on
We're
today.
just gonna.
Remember, the recommended order on the left side of the screen can be used to help you choose a topic based on your responses from the recognized...
All right, I'm skipping ahead because you guys know how to use a computer. Okay.
Before we begin the topic for today, I want to point out a few things. First, you will always know where you are in the program by looking at the top of the screen here.
Make it so easy
This
to
shows
use
that
that
you
all the
are in the
patients think
Recognize
they're
the
just very
Triggers
smart
topic,
for, 'cause all they
and
have
that
to
you
do is
got
push a
here
button.
from the
It's
topic
really
selection
simple.
page. If you ever need to go back to the top... Today, I will be guiding you through the first topic, Recognize the Triggers. First, take a look at the stoplight image located at the bottom of the screen with the words Recognize, Avoid, and Cope. This program will teach you how to recognize the triggers or... In this topic, Recognize the Triggers, we will be looking at triggers. Triggers can be thought of as an event that puts into motion a course of events. They become patterns or habits, things that become automatic. There are many different examples of triggers related to things in your life. Your alarm clock triggers you to wake up at a certain time in the morning.
Might not work outside of Connecticut. All right. So.
You are about to view a video of Pam, who has had problems with alcohol for several years and is working hard to stay sober after completing an alcohol treatment program about a month ago. You will see part of Pam's day at work, as well as at home with her husband Jim.
All right, this is more fun.
You deserve this promotion. Congratulations. I know you're going to do great things.
Thank you.
Hey, you haven't been out to happy hour with us in quite a while. You should come, celebrate. You picked the place this time, huh? What was the name of that bar you always went to?
The Blind Pig?
Yeah, the Blind Pig. Let's go there this week. Be fun. All right? All right.
All right.
Back to work.
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
How's it going?
Good.
Heard about the promotion. Congratulations. Might as well jump right in. Have fun. Hey, Pam.
Oh, hi, Erin.
Pam, here's the rest of that paperwork in that file.
So, you're coming out with us to celebrate, right? Come on, we can go to that favorite bar of yours. What
The
is it?
Blind Pig.
Right.
You know, we've missed you the past couple months. I'm really glad you'll be joining us.
Come on.
Yeah, thanks. Phyllis,
Hey, how's it going?
you were right about the workload. I'm gonna do my best to handle it.
I'm sure you can.
But it seems like happy hour this week is at the Blind Pig. And everyone's decided that I should go. I don't really think it's a good idea for me.
Can you get out of it?
Phyllis, ready for that conference call?
What? This is not mine. Is my credit card stolen?
Nasty lady.
Hello?
Jim,
Pam?
it's me. Now, wait a
How's the
second.
first day with your big new job?
Do you have your credit card with you?
No.
There's this huge charge from PQR Electronics. I think somebody charged our account.
Damn it, Pam. That was your surprise. I bought you television to celebrate your promotion.
What?
Pam?
We're supposed to discuss big purchases. We can't afford a giant TV right now, especially since you're not working. How are we gonna pay this bill?
Oh. Well, you're making more money.
I can't talk about this right now, Jim. Not right now. We'll talk about it when I get home, okay? I can't believe you did this.
I thought you were... Hello?
Hey, it's me again. You're picking up Joy in a bit, right?
Oh,
Jim?
I thought you were going to get him.
Have you been drinking?
I had a few. Can you pick him up today?
No, I don't have a choice, do I? I need to leave now or I'll be late. Bye.
And so we just load this poor woman up with all these horrible things. It's just,
Surprise!
yeah.
Pam, what do you think?
I hope you kept the box. We're returning that.
Where's Joey?
You're gonna drop him off later.
Hey, why don't you come in and relax?
Why don't I? Because look at this house. It's a mess. There's toys everywhere. beer bottles, dirty clothes all over
It's
the
all
place.
right. I'll take care of it.
And I can't relax because I have a ton of work to do that needs to get done tonight. And I can't concentrate on it because you spent thousands of dollars on a ridiculous TV that you bought for yourself.
I bought it for you.
No, you didn't. I can't even talk about this right now. I'm so frustrated.
Where are you going?
I got work to do. Don't bother me.
I tried to do something nice for you. You're becoming such a bitch.
So she's finally trying to calm down here. And the helpful
How's the work
hubby
going?
brings in the wine. And so we've set poor Pam
You know,
up. This is Pam and Jim.
I liked you better when you were drinking.
And so then the program goes through with her, and we go through the day and we recognize triggers and how to eliminate, or what to do when you're exposed to it. We teach. I think Pam how to cope with craving, how to deal with Jim assertively, how to not how to go to the bar with her workers and not drink by having a friend. So it's so again we just try to get engaging characters, a little bit of humor, so people keep watching the storyline progress, and so far it's been much fun. So anyway, if you want to see more, come to SATU or CMHC, and thank you very much. Thanks.